right, welcome back, everyone. You see the war zone in LA? You've probably seen it. If you don't, you're probably not even watching this video. Your head is buried in the sand somewhere. But it's a fucking war zone over there, and there seems to be a lot of upset leftists out there. They're very upset that Donald Trump is authorizing the National Guard and the Marines to clean house. Because these mostly peaceful protests, he has authorized the National Guard. And some of you think the National Guard is a militia, and if I remember, I'll address this later. Right? A militia being necessary for a free state. A well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state. And I'll try to address that later. But it's a fucking war zone there in LA. And the media would like you to believe that it's mostly peaceful protests. As every picture that I see is that cars are on fire, buildings on fire, big rocks being hucked through police car vehicles. Who knows? Were any police officers hurt? I'm sure they were at least hurt, if not dead. Some of them dead. I mean, one of them rocks, it was fucking on target. I wonder if there's a passenger in that vehicle. And the Democrats, Governor Newsom, he doesn't do anything about it. He's like, hey, this is normal. This is immigrants. In the media also, these are immigrants protesting their rights. First off, these are illegal aliens. There's a difference between an immigrant and an illegal alien. My wife comes from Costa Rica. She applied for the necessary paperwork, came to America legally, and I helped her study for a test, and now she's an American citizen. Illegal alien, which is what they are technically called, is somebody who crosses the border illegally, breaking the law. That's what illegal means. You're breaking the law. And alien means you from a foreign country or a foreign place, right? So even a virus can be considered an alien. It's alien to your body. If it makes you sick, that's an alien. It's an alien invader, foreign invader. So illegal alien is a technical term that best describes what's actually going on. They ride around there with their pro-Palestinian flags, homosexual flags, Mexican flags. Hey, you support those places? Move to those places. Because you are in America, you are free to do so. You are not kept under lock and key here in the United States to go support Mexico with your Mexican values and your traditions. Fine. Show your support. Let me see that shit on TV while you're in fucking Mexico. That's fine. Do that. Oh, cool. This guy likes Mexican and he supports his traditions and his history. Great. I support my history and tradition as an American citizen, defending this Constitution, as a combat veteran, flying the American flag. And you have no right to fly your Mexican flag the way I see it here in the United States. Especially if you are an illegal alien. You see, the Constitution only applies to American citizens. Somebody like me. Not illegal aliens, not people on work visas, student visas, or anything like that. So y'all upset that Donald Trump is authorizing the National Guard that you call the militia, or you also think is the militia, and the Marines to come and clean the fucking house. Y'all are lucky I'm not the president. I would send in A-10s on strafing runs to clean that fucking shit up. Then send in the street cleaners to fucking sweep up the bodies and dispose of it. I mean, it'd save a lot of taxpayer money. Not having to deal with the court systems, the long waiting periods, so on and so forth. So y'all lucky President Trump is a tolerant and peaceful man by consideration. You always want to think that the Republicans are so evil, but who freed the slaves? Republicans did. Republicans freed the slaves. This whole problem is a direct result of the Democrat Party. They have absolutely nothing to run on other than division. Well, that's not true. It's all about unity. Oh, unity? LGBTQRZ123 homosexual B like me? Pro-Palestine, pro-Islam, pro-black, pro-Latino, pro-Asian, pro-white. Well, not white. Pro-white. Not pro-white. Definitely not pro-white. Unless you're a Democrat. A Democrat politician, then you're okay. What they're doing is they're creating all these little individual bubbles of division, which creates chaos, destruction. And if you actually did a little tiny bit of research, just a little bit into Islam, you'd know that just because you're a rainbow flag warrior, that you are not going to make it. You are not going to make it if you fly to Palestine and show them how much you love them and how much you support them. They will remove your head and have your body fall down 9 stories onto the fucking desert floor. They will. They'll show you how much they love you and how much they support the homosexual movement. But that's just the thing. The Democrats, especially the voters, they don't like to do any kind of investigation, any kind of reality fact checking. They take everything as face value. They watch the Communist News Network. For you lame brains out there, that stands for CNN and the acronym, Communist News Network. They watch that 30 seconds of news and they believe every word of it. Oh, there's mostly peaceful protests. Guys out there with a long stick roasting a marshmallow over a burning Tesla. Yeah, that's not what I'm seeing on TV. That's a fucking war zone. It's a fucking war zone is what it is. Combat veteran. That fucking shit looks like Iraq. Some of those photos and videos looks like fucking Iraq. That shit is nasty. Y'all upset because Donald Trump is going to send in the Marines to clean house because your governor that you voted for is not doing his job effectively. And the media is all about it. Well, it's mostly peaceful protest. And then here, let's flip the script a little bit. Let's go back to January 6th. How many cars were on fire on January 6th? 0. How many people were blocking the highways on January 6th? 0. How many people were standing on bridges throwing stones into police cars? 0. Yeah, so mostly peaceful protest versus an insurrection. Well, if those are the definitions and we use those examples, I will go with insurrection any day of the week over mostly peaceful protests because I'm going to send in A-10s on strafing runs to destroy these mostly peaceful protests. But you're lucky I'm not president. But as a president of the United States, he should get up on stage and address the union in a union state of the address and say, look, he's going to put it in much nicer words than I ever would. You fucking retards over there in LA, you got 24 hours to pack your bags, clean the fucking streets up, and get the fuck out before I send in the military. I'm going to roll in some MRAPs with 240 Bravos on top, long chains of ammunition. I'm going to send some Humvees with M249s, long chains of ammunition hanging on top. I'm going to have my soldiers on full display in full battle rattle with all their fucking magazines on full display. M4s with M203s underneath. And you so much as throw fucking water in any one of my soldiers and then we're going to have you pushing daisies. I promise you. You got 24 hours. Have a good fucking day. That's how I would fix this shit. So you think that President Trump is some sort of dictator. You're lucky I'm not president. Now, to get sidetracked onto the militia, because this is another thing that seems to be chiming in the internet in different places. A lot of people are to the belief that the National Guard is the militia. Well, the National Guard can be federalized by the DOD, which is under the executive branch of the president. So the National Guard is not the militia. I hate to break it to you. I've even flown with some National Guard members when I was in Iraq. They were getting paid federal pay, right? It's a difference. So what is a militia? A militia is a group of people. I believe I've covered this before, but it's a group of people. I'm just going to use my neighborhood. We come together because something is not right. A militia being necessary for a free state. We come together, we form a militia with our own private weapons, pew pew, pow pow, whatever you want to call it, and we train together. And one of us becomes a leader. Let's just say it's me, because as far as I know, I live in a very small town. I'm probably the only combat veteran within a 3-mile radius, maybe even a 15-mile radius. I don't know. So I might become their leader. And then I would regulate them. That's where a well-regulated militia would come in to terminology. I would regulate them how to dissimulate or dismantle their weapon, how to properly lubricate it, how to reassemble it, how to put their weapon on target, downrange, more effectively, more precise. I'd teach them the ability of cover, concealment, camouflage, basic first aid, survival tactics, escape and evade tactics, things that I have learned, my accumulated knowledge. I would pass that on to all these people around me. So that way we can become a more effective group, being necessary for a free state. Regulated means to train, for a lack of a better description. Regulated is not some hand-me-down by the government. Weapons buyback program. The government never sold me this weapon. This is not a real weapon. This is a BB gun I use for killing rats and shit around my yard and around my house and so on and so forth. But it looks just like the real one I got, well, wherever I put it. It looks just like it. In fact, it's the same exact size. The government does not sell me this weapon, so the weapon cannot be bought back by the government. Does that make sense? There's no such a government buyback program. I never purchased this weapon from the government, so the government cannot legally buy back this weapon. But if they want to pay me $200 for this BB gun, I will gladly sell it to them, and then I'll buy me 4 more. Because people do that. They'll scam the system. I haven't done it, but I'm damn near tempted to scam it. I've even heard of people 3D printing fake shit and turning it in and collecting a $50 gift card. And they'll bring a whole bag full of that shit. Like, I'm damn near tempted to do that. But the government cannot issue something and then say, well, we're going to take it away. These are inalienable rights given to us by God. Free speech, Second Amendment, the freedom against illegal search and seizures, so on and so forth, right? Read the Bill of Rights. Those are inalienable rights given to us by God, not the government. The government doesn't give us those rights. If the government gave us those rights, then the government has the right to take them away. The government does not have a right to take them away. Well, the government has a right to regulate machine guns. That's only because they decided to regulate the machine guns with a tax stamp. Back in the day, you could order a Thompson fully automatic machine gun through a Sears catalog and have it sent to your house with no background check and no tax stamp. Go figure. Because why? It was totally constitutional. Now I would argue that any kind of tax stamp against a weapon of any type, whether it's a a finger guard, a trigger assembly, some sort of attachment that goes up here or up here or up here. I would argue all of those are illegal. I don't use any of those things, but somebody else might like them. Who the fuck cares? Right? I like the color blue. You like the color red. So we should regulate the color red. We should phase out the color red because I said so. I don't like the color red. Let's make the color red illegal because the government said so. Right? That's how stupid that argument is when you base this upon the Constitution. So militia is a group of civilians, not a DOD employee. Might be a former DOD employee in the militia. Might be a former CIA, FBI, whatever the local police department, whatever the case. It might be in that militia. But a militia is not a federal employee or a state employee. That's just the bottom line. A militia is a free citizen. It is a group of people come together to serve a common good, being necessary for a free state. Hope you fuckers learned something. Have a good day.